Hello there, and welcome to 3Spoonies. We're your hosts, Karen, Jo, and Claire. This is episode number 47.5, where we're discussing representation in online media. Let's get into some questions.
Are you drowning in admin? Struggling to keep up with emails, invoices, social media, or the endless to-do list that comes with running a business? Then it's time to call in Vicki Admin Fairy, an award-winning virtual assistant who brings order to admin chaos. Vicki works with all entrepreneurs, regardless of their background or abilities, to take care of the time-consuming tasks that slow you down. Whether it's managing emails, sorting financial admin, handling social media, chasing late payments, the list is endless. She saves business owners hours every week, reducing stress and ensuring everything runs smoothly. With 25 years of experience, a flexible, client-focused approach, and a reputation for going above and beyond, Vicki adapts to your needs, making your business more efficient so you can focus on what you do best. And the best part? You'll have more free time to grow your business, boost profits, or just enjoy life without admin headaches. Want to free up your time and get your business running more smoothly? Visit www.vickyadminfairy.co.uk or email hello@vickyadminfairy.co.uk to find out how Vicki can help you.
Hello, I'm Karen from Pony Pony Pony.
And I'm Jo from Bright Cat Business Solutions.
And Claire isn't here as she's having to deal with some medical stuff. But when we're together, we are 3Spoonies navigating our way through life and business with not enough spoons. So we are once again joined by the delightful Dr. Zara Bain. Hello.
Hello, lovely to be here. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a delight.
It has been fun, it really has. Would you like to tell the viewers, listeners, and/or combination of above a little bit about you and what you do?
Sure, thank you so much. My name is Dr. Zara Bain. I have a PhD in social justice via philosophy, and I'll also run a social enterprise providing transcription, closed captioning, and digital accessibility solutions to businesses, researchers, and writers, where we prioritize recruiting disabled, chronically ill, and neurodivergent people just like me.
That sounds thoroughly marvellous. So thank you for being here once again. I'm just going to pass over to Joe for the questions. Whoosh!
Whoosh. Yep, I've got 3 questions for you. I'm sure we might go off on a tangent again, but that's fine too. My first question is from Caroline. I have a moderate following on a well-known video sharing platform. I wonder what that could be. I'm not disabled, but my friends are. I've been inviting them onto my videos. Am I right to do this, or should I be promoting their videos?
Good question, isn't it? I think Caroline's doing a really good job by even asking the question, to be honest, even though we don't hand out cookies around here. I'm sure like me, you have a no cookie space for non-disabled people thinking about how to boost, disabled representation.
Yeah,
Uh,
but now I want cookies.
Now I want
Only grade C
cookies.
custard creams, though.
Now I'm thinking about bourbons because we went off on a bourbon tangent earlier as well, but that's a whole other story. Yeah, so in answer to the question, I think that you have probably 2 good solutions to this. I don't think it's a terrible thing if you are using your audience and your platform to signal boost their work. I think that's actually a really good thing. And I think what you could do is you could also be directing your traffic and your audience to their videos and perhaps even offering for you to go and guest on their videos too. I don't see why you can't have it both ways. And then it's like the more the merrier. It comes up a lot in kind of, digital marketing at the moment where they say, borrow other people's audiences. You can let them borrow your audience and then you can do it twice over by directing your audience to go and become their audience too. Win-win.
Would agree
Yeah,
with that.
then it's sort of in terms of power dynamic as well, it's a bit more collaboration and a bit less you sort of deigning to support people, which I don't think is how Caroline's going about it at
No.
all. But yeah, bit of give and take in both directions.
Yeah, if everyone's got a video platform or like a, a video channel, then just, be mates on your video platforms and hang out.
Yeah,
Sounds like
it
fun.
works. Yeah,
That was easy.
it was easy. All right. Thank you. The
I
next
hope that
question
helps,
is
Caroline. I
from
don't know.
Adam. I'm getting really wound up by horrible comments and news stories that are biased against disabled people. I want to correct misconceptions or outright lies, but I find myself getting frustrated and upset. What's the best way to handle it?
We've all been there, haven't we? We've all kind of had people giving us nasty comments on the internet, and it's that thing where like the comment comes in and you're like, what? I'm and you kind of want to, tell them what the right answer is and not, let them continue laboring under their mistakes. But I think that it's also really important to prioritize your peace, I think you've got to think about the fact that you've got a finite pot of energy and whether or not you want to spend it kind of, battling each individual bad comment and misconception online, or whether or not there's another way that you can approach it. Maybe, Adam, you might want to think about taking the kind of misconceptions that you're encountering that you're finding frustrating and that you want to correct. And like, what if you used it as inspiration to create your own content and to create your own kind of materials? You could write blog posts, you could do reels on Instagram, you could be posting on Facebook, you could do a combination thereof. And maybe it'll be a bit more like, you can have a different vibe, find a kind of, find some space away from the anger, have a cup of tea if that's your thing, just log off for a bit, chill out. But then actually, it doesn't mean that you don't have to engage with the problem. It just means maybe, do it in a way that's not going to raise your blood pressure and not going to make you feel kind of and not going to cost you spoons because we don't want that. We want you to keep those spoons. Those spoons are precious. There's no
They
point
are
wasting them
precious.
on strangers having like, bad opinions on the internet, quite frankly. I've been there. We've all been there. I'm sure you've both been there.
So
Hmm.
often
People shouldn't be wrong on the internet.
they
No,
shouldn't,
just shouldn't.
especially if it's about science.
Yeah, or about disabled people, then they can,
That too.
really jog on. But I don't know about you, so I've got like an adrenaline sensitivity problem. So I find that if I kind of get het up, it's really annoying. It's really bad for having an argument. If my adrenaline starts to spike, I crash harder afterwards.
Mm.
Yeah.
So like one argument with one stranger on the internet can cost me a whole day sometimes, even for like a
Yeah,
minor.
that's definitely not worth it.
Yeah, well, I think it's also, I mean, you've probably done actual research on this, but someone said to me, you are not going to change the mind of that person who's like, oh, disabled people get 5 grand a month and a free car and get to live in a palace and get 57 holidays a week. And you're not going to change their mind, but you might change the mind of someone else who's reading the comments. And that
Hmm.
kind of made me go, oh, maybe. But again, I think you've got to weigh it up. Is it worth it? And sometimes you might go, actually, this is a common misconception. Here's actual proper facts. And other times you might just say, do you know what? There's other things I could be doing with my time.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that so it's kind of it's a variation on the bystander effect, isn't it? Where like, there
Mm,
are other people who are the audience to the comment page. And so, is it that you're going to be responding to change their minds and not actually worrying about what like Joe Blogs from whoever is actually posting? I think the other thing to bear in mind is like people are living in worlds where they're getting this wrong information through so many different sources that they think are authoritative, right? So if they're reading I'm going to say the right kind, but the wrong kind of tabloid media, even if at this point, if they're listening to the bloody government, like, there's a lot of sources out there that are going to be giving you this nonsense. And so, it may be that your one comment's not going to do much. I think that's a really good idea though, Karen, because what you can do, I've done this at Phases, is you could just have a kind of like set of bookmark links where if you've got some resources that you do want to just share and you want it to be fairly low energy, low anger, you could just drop a link in. Be like, oh,
mm,
I'm so sorry you're wrong on the internet, Mr. Person, but here's some facts that you might want to read. Let me keyboard warrior you with my link, and then leave and go,
mm.
my life.
Yeah, I think the leaving part is key. It's like I've left a fact, I've done my part, now I'm going to go away. Because if you then come back and say, oh, well, they said on GBBs yesterday, no, I have gone, I have moved on.
Don't re-engage with it. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Again, you could just make your own content, you know. You could just go and
Mm.
like start a TikTok page where you're just like, I see people on the internet being wrong about this, and I'm gonna just share some facts with some resources and citations and evidence and show them why they're wrong. You could share that as your link, but it's up to you because that might get you some more trolls. But at the same time, it might find your community too, right? If you,
Yeah, that could work.
yeah.
And you get other people fighting it as well.
Yeah, yeah. Online misinformation is a really hard thing, but it's not an
Mm.
ecosystem that, because we were talking about this earlier, right? It's a space that the algorithms and the way that these things are coded, it sort of actually rewards negative attention as much as it rewards positive attention. And so you've got to be really careful that you don't just feed into what is literally an outrage machine. It's a machine that is designed to foster your outrage and
Yeah,
to.
because then you'll spend more time on it.
Yeah, exactly. And you get dopamine pings for everyone who favorites your like. You're like, yeah, I got another favorite on my comment, and that guy only got 2, and I've got 5, and it's just not good. But that is a thing that we all do or have done,
Yeah,
probably.
it's a hard lesson to learn. Yeah, thank
Mm.
you, Adam. I hope that helps you. My last question is from Clive. Uh, I'm so over people faking disability, e.g., people claiming that they have ADHD on TikTok because they drink quickly, or anime characters they switch between instantly as DID or Tourette's, that results in hilarious swearing. All swearing's hilarious. But I feel conflicted. It's hard enough with a hidden disability to be taken seriously. So I don't want to be putting out accusations that someone isn't really disabled. Is there a good way to respond, or do I just leave it?
Feel I feel like I can feel Clive's frustration in his question. I can like
Yeah,
it's in there. It's like, Clive, you're not happy about this. This might not be what you want to hear, Clive, but I think you should just just chill out, leave it. Not, so it's really frustrating that we live in a world in which when we have invisible disabilities particularly we get disbelieved all the time, and so the kind of mere possibility of other people sort of like faking disability to get attention or because they think it's funny or whatever is kind of like inherently infuriating. I get it, but I just don't know if you want to be that guy. Like, I think that's kind of where I come out in this. Like, I don't know if you want to be that guy who is going around trying to police other people's um identification as being disabled, because there's a few things. One, you don't like it when people do it to you. Two, you don't know whether or not the people who are actually you think are not really disabled or chronically ill neurodivergent, they actually just could be. They could just be putting out really silly stuff on the internet that's, ignorant or unconvincing. That doesn't mean they don't have ADHD, and it doesn't mean that they don't have Tourette's. It could just be that they're bad posters online. Um, and I will say that, if you yourself are somebody who is in community with other disabled and chronically ill and neurodivergent people, and you get discovered as somebody who is invested in trying to kind of point other people out as fakers, the social costs can be quite substantial because it's a thing that I think communally we know is just like not a cool thing to do. Um, and so if I were you, Clive, I would be inclined to just probably let it go. Probably not what you want to hear.
it's
What
good
do you think?
advice, especially sort of, yeah, you don't want it to turn it back on you. And remember that the people who tend to fake things, they tend to break their own house of cards.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. It's hard though, right? Because I'm thinking about Netflix. There's been all these documentaries about these kind of like wellness fakers
Yeah,
recently.
Yeah, yeah.
The
Well,
stuff.
that's the thing when it's like dangerous misinformation. Like I cured myself with magic ear stickers of ME, which I was diagnosed with in 4 months by
Yeah.
2 ME experts. I mean, just to pull something out of Dragon's Den, I don't know. But in that case,
Oh yeah.
I think it's fair to say, or, if someone's offering a magical cure, then I think it's crossed the line. That sometimes it is kids being silly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I think I agree with that. I think the magic. I forgot about the magical ear sticker dragon thing. I forgot. I forgot. And then just yeah, or like I've cured my cancer by juicing, right?
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Just those ones. I think you're right, Karen. I think that's a really good kind of line to draw is that like, are they selling something? Are they trying to do anything other than just like if all they're trying to do is get likes online, then I think probably
Yeah. Ignore those. If they're doing something dangerous, call out.
yeah, I think that's a good line. That's a better line than mine. That's a very good yeah, good rule of thumb, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Clive, chill out. They'll get what's coming to them, karma and all that.
Yeah.
Unless it's something horrific and dangerous. That case, have at it. That's all my questions. So Karen, I will pass back to you.
Ooh, back to me. So thank you for joining us again. Again, really, really useful insights there. Thank you so much for that. Zara, is there anything you'd like to plug? Anything interesting, exciting we should know about?
Thank you so much, both you, Karen and Joe. It's been really great to hang out with you, and to everyone who submitted the question as well. I will just plug, as I mentioned at the beginning, I have a social enterprise that we do transcription, captioning, and digital accessibility services. It is called Academic Audio Transcription Limited, and you can find us at therelevant.com. We are just in the process of launching some fantastic new products, and ways to support small business owners, particularly course creators and membership owners around digital accessibility. We have a digital accessibility quiz that we would love you to take to help you figure out where you are on your digital accessibility journey and take the next step, because we think that more places should be accessible, more accessible to more people, because if they're not, I just think that's a lot of money that people are losing out on, and that's a bit silly, really. So, because disabled people buy things. Yeah. So thanks very much. Link is in the bio, I think.
It will be indeed. So thank you very much for joining us for 3Spoonies on online representation. We'd love to know your thoughts in the comments, even if you do think we're being wrong on the internet. And let us know any questions you have. If you enjoyed the episode, please subscribe for our weekly podcast and leave us a lovely review. You can also buy us a coffee if you like what we do. As we have said, links will be in the show notes, so give them a nice little click. They're ever so tactile. We'll see you next week for our next topic, the impact of a late diagnosis. Have a great day and keep track of your spoons.